Hello and welcome to a tutorial on in-text citations featuring quotes from Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone by J.K. Rowling. So, why do we need in-text citations? Well, the first reason is to avoid plagiarism. Let's remember that plagiarism is when we use another person's ideas or words without giving them credit. One of the reasons that we use in-text citations is to show that we have borrowed a fact or quotation from another source. We can use those citations to cite the source. That means tell what it is. Where did I get this information? And it allows us to give credit for the information, to name a person or a location or a book that the information came from. There are two ways that you can use information from your research. You can use a direct quotation or you can use a paraphrase. So what's the difference? A quote uses words taken directly from the text, which must be set off by quotation marks. Here's an example from Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Harry turned this news over in his mind. So I took those words directly from the text. I copied every word just the same as it is in the text. A paraphrase of this same sentence contains the same information and the same facts, but it's in my own words. Harry thought carefully about what he had just heard. Here's an example of a quotation using what's called a signal phrase. You might be asking, what is a signal phrase? Well, a signal phrase is basically a phrase or a couple of words that we use to say, hey, I'm about to use a quotation, or heads up, here comes a fact that is not mine. Here's an example from the book. Professor McGonagall was a tall witch with black hair, emerald green robes, and a serious face. According to Harry, the professor was not someone to cross. If you look carefully here, in bold are the words, according to Harry. This is the signal phrase. The signal phrase is showing that the quotation I'm using is from Harry. It's in his own words, and I put it in quotations because I took it directly from the text. Here's a paraphrase using a signal phrase. Harry overheard Hermione, a very studious witch, say that the ceiling in the great hall had been bewitched so that it looked like the night sky. Notice I've got the phrase say that in bold. Say that is my signal phrase to show what the fact is. I actually took this information from a sentence that Hermione said in the book. She said, the ceiling has been bewitched. I paraphrased it because I didn't use any quotations. I used my own words instead of the words I found in the text. Did you happen to notice the highlighted words, a very studious witch? Those are credentials. Credentials are basically how we show that our source is credible. That means how we show that our source knows what they're talking about. So if Hermione says to Harry that the ceiling in the Great Hall has been bewitched, so it looks like the night sky, why should we believe her? Does she really know what she's talking about? Indeed she does. If you've read the book, you'll know that Hermione is very studious. She's very intelligent, and she's well read. And guess where she gets this information from? A book about the history of Hogwarts, so it's got to be true. I'm using those credentials to show that my source is credible and accurate. Here are some more examples of sentences using signal phrases. Remember that these signal phrases show that I'm about to use a quotation or a borrowed fact from my text. Here's the first example. Dumbledore points out that the third floor corridor is out of bounds to students. Notice I've got the words points out in bold. That means that's my signal phrase. I've taken this from a part of the book where Dumbledore is giving some instructions. And so in the book, it's a direct quotation where Dumbledore says, the third floor corridor on the right side is out of bounds to students. Actually, he says it's to everyone who values their lives. So I didn't use the direct quotation here. I just used the paraphrase of what he said. The second example. Although Harry is opposed to being a Slytherin, the Sorting Hat argues that Slytherin will help you on the way to greatness. Notice in bold I've got the words argues that. This is signaling I'm about to use a quotation. And the quotation is directly from the text. Slytherin will help you on the way to greatness. The next example, Professor Snape, head of Slytherin House and potions master, insists that potion making is a subtle science and exact art. Okay, I've got two things going on here. Number one, in bold, the words insist that. That's our signal phrase. I'm like, heads up, here I come with my quotation from the text. Did you also notice the highlighted portion of the sentence? It reads, head of Slytherin House and potions master. This is a credential. I am telling why Snape is a credible source, why his words even matter. Why do we care what Snape thinks about potion making? Oh, it's because he's the head of Slytherin House and he's the potions master. All right, well, I hope this has been helpful for you. If you need more examples about signal phrases, you should Google in-text citation signal phrases, and there are tons of verbs that can help you that are more exciting than just saying says that. All right, best of luck to you.